Tonight on HGT, an early exit from the ECAC means no NCAA tournament bid for the Big Red. The Lady Bombers will host the Empire 8 tournament, but will they lift the trophy when it's all said and done? Cornell Lacrosse is back. We'll preview their season. All this and more coming up on Hold That Thought. All right, guys, let's get started here with Hold That Thought. It's time for Hold That Thought here on ICTV. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Brendan Vogt, and as usual, I'm joined by some panelists.
There are rumors that he could have been hurt. We're going to leave it at those because it hasn't been substantiated yet. He did come out of the game. Tom Dempsey came in and threw a couple of picks and a TD. It really just, nothing really went the Bombers' way the other day.
They need to go in not being as confident as they were, a little bit too cocky going into the Empire 8 tournament, and I think they need to step back and realize that this needs to be kind of an attitude adjustment for them, and they need to start using their bench players more. We saw that a lot in the regular season, but in the Empire 8 tournament, we didn't see a lot of the bench players like Ali Rashidi or Aaron Ferguson, players that we saw during the regular season, and I think that that needs to be implemented when they go into the NCAA tournament.
DeAndre Yedlin, not a whole lot of people know about him because he's only 20, he's only been a pro for about 1 year now, but he had an excellent season. He was the first rookie since I think 2005 to be named to an MLS All-Star team. And he's a good defender, he's fast, he's athletic, he could really provide some good youthful energy to this American team.
The United States has actually been trying to adjust to that. Let's look at David Beckham, who bought a franchise down in Miami. They're trying to expand the league. They're trying to make it more competitive and more world-renowned.
Why doesn't one of these premier European leagues maybe put a team in New York? I know that's drastic, but that could be the key.
The bottom line with this team is they've only scored 9 goals the past 3 games, 9 goals each game. This is a team that in every other game that they won, they scored at least 12. So their offense is a little down compared to what's been early on in the season. The bottom line is this team doesn't have any time to worry about should they be concerned or not. This is a team that coming in has high expectations. They did go to a Final Four last year.
They got a 10-yard penalty and then missed the field goal. If they hadn't gotten that 10-yard penalty, they could have won the game. There were a lot of fundamental issues that Alabama had, and that's what lost them the game.
You know, you can call it a whole, they are losing 9 players, especially in the secondary and linebacker core. That's never a good situation necessarily, but Ithaca football has always been traditionally a defensive powerhouse. I don't think there's going to be that much trouble in terms of filling a hole. They've always got guys stepping in and year out.
He loves Oregon, so he told me everything about it. And that was really one of the best moments.
I'm going to go a little bit off the reservation, a Cinderella choice, if you will.
Goalkeeper for this team, Beth Kopalekya, also, like I said, a sophomore. Incredible, 7 goals allowed in 22 games. 7 in 22. That's 15 shutouts. I know there's not a lot of scoring in soccer, but that's ridiculous. Beth Kopalekya, let's not forget, she also took over for Becca Salon in last year's NCAA tournament run.
Esports is a burgeoning medium. It's very, very popular with youth who are playing a lot of video games and really enjoying this sort of new breed of video game that's coming out, which are competitive games.
Megan, we're going to pull up your Final Four here. It looks like you have all of the #1 seeds in the Final Four, Megan. Now, seeing as that's only happened once before in tournament history, I do have to ask you, why did you do that?
You know, Brendan, I have an answer, and I don't know why.
Yes, it takes away from the fans' experience, but also you have to look at it, these teams are invested in making money and winning games.
They're doing the same thing they did, and they lost last year. Can they win this year? I've yet to see. They have hard games coming up, and that's the real test. We haven't seen anything.
And then the best team of all time are going with the 67, I mean, you can choose pretty much any of these teams, but 67-68 UCLA Bruins, probably Lou Alcindor's finest team, won 29-1, absolutely routed the field on the way to a national championship.
Lose, and after that, you have Stevens, and after what happened last year, after the Bombers lost twice to Stevens, once to almost cost them the conference, the other one to lose in the conference semifinal, which they should have won.
Dominating E8, they've breezed through E8 competition thus far, and I see no reason why they won't finish it out.
They do need to pick it up offensively if they do want to compete with teams like Penn.
They're getting contributions from a lot of the freshmen on this team, John Janiskevich, Justin Bird. We seem to talk about them every show. And then you have the senior veteran leadership of Jake Long and Pat Slaughter. I think this team is ready to make a run. I think they host the Empire tournament, and I think they win it as well.
So, John, should the NCAA maybe consider making changes in the schedule to accommodate for those players competing in the Olympics?
Absolutely not. Again, congratulations to those Olympians. It is an unbelievable feat that 99.9% of the world can't do. It's based off of they make their schedule based off of the school year.
The bottom line is, not everyone is an Olympic athlete. The fact that Cornell had so many Olympians, that's great, that's fantastic, but that doesn't affect the majority of the Division I hockey players in this country.
Having the teams come into big cities like Atlanta, what else can you do when there's already a fan base? There's a lot of people, obviously, you put everything together, and hopefully they can expand.
You know, this was a very talented Bombers squad, including a team that beat the two-time defending national champion Messiah.
This offense, are they better than some? Yes, but it's nothing to write home about. This pitching staff for the Bombers this year has been outstanding. They're keeping the opponent's bats at bay.
They do have the pitching. But another thing I want to look at is the fact that this team is 5-3 at home, still has 5 home games left. There's no reason why they can't continue to play this well at home, that they can't make the NCAA tournament.
Again, Shabazz Napier is kind of looking like Kemba Walker out there when they won the national championship. The point guard at the top of the key has been huge for them in terms of their tournament success. By the way, I did call them in the Final Four. I didn't have them going to the finals.
Yeah, you also
so
had Creighton, John, so settle down.
Still, you know. 1 out of 4 is not too bad, okay? Especially if it's UConn.
Look, I'm sorry, but this guy's been out of the sport for 2 years. We don't even know how well he can do. He may not be able to get across a pool unless Moses parts the water for him.
But, I mean, they're 5-3 in the Ivy, and, I mean, Penn just seems to be running away with the Lou Gehrig division right now. They haven't lost the game yet. So I'd have to say no, probably not this season.
You know, at 8-0, Penn at this point just seems like a force. It's going to be tough catching them. Can Cornell, you know, finish it up with a respectable season? Yes, but it seems like too much of a hill.
I'm not sure just how this team fell so far, so fast.
You know, it's college sports. You get guys 4 years max. People come in, come out, and that's what happens sometimes. Unless you're like one of 10 real powerhouses in the nation, you're going to go through lulls, and Cornell's in a lull right now, plain and simple. They can't get the recruits to come. Bad luck.
I mean, in terms of their roster, years ago they lost Anthony Gatlin, Max Groby, Aaron Osgood, players that were contributing to this team.
Honestly, I want to see him playing like the SEC or what he would do in the Pac-12. That's my argument. That's the only thing I have against him.
I don't think we have to look at the league. I think we have to look at Jeff Matthews as a person.
We can take a look at what our leaderboard looks like now, John. With that win, with your second point, you're going to move into the top half of the leaderboard. It's going to be you, Megan, and Aaron with 2 points. Unfortunately, that means Barth, Pete, and Jake, you guys have all finished with just 1 point. The votes are counted. Drum roll, please. 5 votes for Greg Wolf, but it wasn't enough. Congratulations, Aaron McClory. You won. You are our season champion.
And as always, it's you that decides the winner. With your vote, tweet us at the hashtag #vote_HTT, and you can decide who takes home the championship. Hold that thought, and don't go anywhere.